George Harrison and Paul McCartney reflect upon Sgt. Pepper turning 20 years old back in 1987. And this might be the doomiest and gloomiest Paul McCartney I've ever seen. He talked about how slow change was. And said, let's see what happens in 20 years. Well, we're getting close to 40 years. He won't change his answer. Change is slow. So, cool little clip from Rockfile, I think a British program that got shown here on December 26, 1987. Bet it was aired closer to the June 20th anniversary of the Sgt. Pepper release. But anyhow, in America, that's what day I recorded it, at least.
Another star there was George Harrison. He teamed up with former Beatle Ringo Starr. Now, of course, this month was the 20th anniversary of the Sgt. Pepper album. So we asked him whether he got involved in any of the celebrations.
Well, I don't know how much there's been, really. I don't see that much of it. I saw one film that, I did an interview for 20 years ago today. But I don't really listen to the radio much, so I don't know what's been going on.
Don't pay any attention to it at all?
Well, I hear there's been quite a bit, but it's very nice. I think it's nice. Nostalgia, bit of nostalgia.
Elsewhere, however, others did hold major celebrations. There was a big bash down at the Abbey Road studios here in London, where the album was first recorded. And in fact, Paul McCartney received an award to commemorate the release of the CD. And he had these well-chosen words for the world's press.
I'd just like to say, what has changed in the 20 years since we were working here last? It seems to me that the issues are still basically the same. I mean, then we wanted an end to apartheid in South Africa, wanted to encourage peace on earth, we wanted some love and understanding between people everywhere. So now, what have we learned? If anything, the change comes slowly. Let's keep our faith and keep pushing and pray that we have better news to report 20 years from today. Thank you.
Yeah. But it's gonna take money, a whole lot of spending money. It's gonna take a child.
George Harrison made a comeback during 1987, and just last month, Rockfile asked him about his hit single, Got My Mind Set on You.
I got it, I think, the first time I came to the States in, must have been 1961. I bought the album of this guy called James Ray. He had a song which we used to do, a show before we made our own records. We used to do a song called If You're Gonna Make a Fool of Somebody. And this song, Got My Mind Set on You, was on the album, written by the same fella who wrote If You're Gonna Make a Fool of Somebody. So it was a guy called Rudy Clark. I don't really know anything about him, except it was a real good song. The version that I refer to was a bit strange, because it was a very old-fashioned record with a lot of screechy girl singers, and, it was like an old jazzy sort of thing. Anyway, the song itself stuck in my head, and every so often I just sang it to myself, and somehow it just came about. We cut it, I think, based upon the drum pattern Jim Keltner got going on this. Just had this drum pattern going, it sounded good, and that song, it seemed like a cue to do that song.